Welcome, YouTube. I am Juice.
And I'm Antoine Miller.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Sal.
Question of the day is teaching our kids how to develop emotional intelligence. That's a very broad topic. There's so many different scenarios how to go about, I guess, handling this in every situation when it comes to dealing with school, females or girls, even friends. And I guess the best way how to jump off in this topic is I guess I'll tell a story. Uh, One time I was in middle school and I was dating this girl, and she was liking me and I was liking her and stuff like that. We come to find out that I had another girl that was crushing on me too, and I knew that. And I played into it a little bit, as in like I still show her attention, as in like I still acknowledge her, still had conversation with her, but I didn't try to pin both girls against each other. But then I come to find out that those two female had some word exchange away from me. So when I found that out, I had to go talk to my girl, and I went to talk to the other girl. Like, there's no need for that, because in my mind, there's no need to fight over me. I didn't think I was that important. But with that being said, I feel like I had a good emotional intelligence during that time because I try to diffuse the situation. Because when you're in middle school, everybody trying to conjugate trouble and stuff like that. And once again, there was two girls. They both was on two separate departments on beauty. Let me say that way. I'm just gonna be honest, but still in all though.
So which one was your girl? Which one were you with?
Oh, of course with the.
Well, he said.
Well, I said this. She was tall. She was one of them honor students, stuff like that. But she had a hood like mentality, right? And the other girl, she was the older girl, but she still had a hood like mentality too. But she can fight. I don't think my other girl couldn't fight. And stuff. So I didn't want like the one that was more in the hood, that she stayed closer to me. The other one, she didn't. So, but still, not, all that to say is this: I didn't want them two to be fighting. Especially, I feel like the other girl who was smart, she had more to lose, and there's no need for her to try to prove her point to this girl because I'm in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? I'm liking on you. But I will say this though: she tried me though. She tried to say, the other guys liking her and stuff like that, and I need to do more relationship. Keep in mind, we in 8th grade. What more can I do? You know what I'm saying? We just eye candy to people. We was two tall kids.
Yeah. Start selling more lemonade.
You're absolutely right, man. So let me tell you how crazy this was, right? So we had the same teachers, and the teachers knew that me and her was dating. And they had like a dance at the school. She was going to the dance. I wasn't. I had no money to go. My teacher found out. He said, "Are you going to the dance with old girl?" I'm like, "Nah, I ain't going. I ain't no money. I ain't going." She dipped in her pocket, slide me the money to go to the dance, and I was humbled because this particular teacher, when I mean she gave me punish work almost every day, I could have sworn that woman did not like me at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had a sister. She teaches science. Her sister teaching math. And I feel like they just double team me. But she was black. They just loved me, and they wanted me to be a good standout gentleman and stuff like. Yeah, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. I loved her, And when she gave her that money, said, "Go enjoy yourself, man," I felt appreciated, man. I really did. And the next day, when I went to her class after that day, she gave me punish work. But I wasn't mad. I did that punish work with a smile. But with that being said,
wait. So I gotta ask you, what was the emotional aspect of that scenario you described?
Well, I guess the best way is that having the thoughts to go talk to him and tell him that, hey, there's no need for y'all to be fighting for what? To prove what? You know, because there was no need to fight over me. I didn't have nothing to offer them any damn way. But during that setting in school, man, it's all about you know, don't talk to my boyfriend, or don't talk to my man, or don't talk to my girl and stuff like that. And there's no need, because at the end of the day, ain't nothing I can do for her, ain't nothing she can do for me.
And I would go so far to say, as part of emotional intelligence, is not having somewhat of a control over your emotions, but being aware of how others are impacted by your emotions. So the fact that you went over there and you say, hey, it's not worth it, you know, you guys got more to lose. It is emotional intelligence. And you can also say maturity.
Yeah. And keep it also in that note is that I was tall, so I was pretty popular just by me being tall and playing sports. She was tall too, but she was one of them, like I say, straight A students, stuff like that. And there's no need for all that, man. Like, we was well known in the school because we tower over almost everybody. You know, so it's not like we can get in trouble and the school wouldn't know about it.
Yeah.
You know.
So I guess I want to pose the question to you guys. What is the importance of teaching our kids emotional intelligence, or maybe not going as far as to say teaching them, but just, you know, having that conversation? Like, how do we talk to our kids about emotions? I'm assuming it's different between boys and girls. So what do y'all think? I
always say, as soon as a situation or scenario comes up, you address it right there. So if it's your son or your daughter, and you know, whatever the scenario is, and it causes them to lose control of their emotions, that's the perfect time to bring it up there. You know,
has that happened? Has it happened with you and your kids? Like, can you think of a specific moment?
My youngest, my 8-year-old. You know, he's the besides the baby, he is the youngest, right? As far as not being a baby, but his older sister, they clash a lot. Right now, she's taller than him. He's shorter. She's a girl. He's a boy. And sometimes when she like tells on him, he'll lose his emotions. You know, and as soon as I see it happening, I address it right there. Now, I address it from the perspective of a man has to gain more control over his emotions, otherwise it will be used against him. Right? And for my daughter, is because you did this occurred, and he feels this way. Oh, that wasn't my intention, but this is how he took it. And for him is, do not give someone that much control over you. Right? It's the same way I tell all my kids is, if someone calls you a derogatory word, that does not represent who you are, it represents who they are. Because they've stooped so low, they've ran out of so many options that they, you know, it brought them here, and they're trying to get you, they're trying to hurt you as bad as they can emotionally. So don't react to it. Now, I say that speaking from experience. You know, when you know, Deuce Niner, when you're down there, you run into a lot of stuff, right? And you've got to be able to hold your head and push through it and not let it control you.
You said Deuce Niner.
29 palms.
What's that?
29 palms. It's in California.
Okay. I wasn't aware of what that was. Okay.
No, you're good. Yeah, so, you know, I'm the type, man, if you call me, you know, the N-word or something like that, and you're trying to get a reaction out of me, you're not gonna. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get a reaction out of me, because it's just gonna show me who you are. So if you're thinking you're gonna call me that word and we're gonna start scrapping in the street or fighting, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I think there's not a fine line, but I think there's a difference between, you know, allowing someone to quote unquote have some sort of control over you, and allowing someone to run all over you. I think it's important to know as adults and something to teach our kids, but to know what emotions you're actually feeling. Like it's not always control your anger. Anger is not the only emotion that someone can have, but it's how is this situation making me feel? And that's something I learned in therapy a couple years ago. That was, I guess, the homework my therapist gave me daily was to ask myself, how am I feeling? And why do I feel this way? Just two questions, two simple questions to ask myself. And with that, I was able to really dig deep and figure out how I was feeling, because that it kind of sounds odd to ask yourself a question like that, but I promise you, it's liberating. Once you do, sit down with your own self, with your own thoughts, and figure out, okay, what's going on with me. So emotions are deep, even for men, they can be, and I think it's I don't want to teach. I don't want the next generation to think that they just got to bottle it up, because I know that's what we was taught.
Mm-hmm.
You don't show emotion.
So give me two examples. One example of when the emotion should not affect. I don't want to say impact you or affect you, because it will. It's just you controlling your response. So give me an example of an emotion that garnishes or causes you to maybe lose it, and an emotion that you should not lose it over.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would think of that too. Something that where how you feel somebody trying to walk all over you or run all over you, what you use it compared to the other part what he says. So I would think the same thing too.
I thought I got to get a response to that. You shouldn't respond if it's like a random stranger in public. That your example was the N word, but anything like that, someone that's trying to trigger you or yell at you, stuff like that, that can escalate and lead to something that you don't want over something very stupid. So nine times out of ten, I would suggest just trying to ignore that, walk away from the situation. But I think the time that you have to address it is in the workplace and at school. In the workplace for adults and at school for kids. And at school specifically, bullies. You can't let a bully you. Basically, it, that's what bullies like. They like the kid that doesn't fight back. So to stop a bully, you gotta hit him back, and that could be figuratively. That could be you know really punching him back in the face. Just whatever the case may be, you can't let a bully continue to bully you.
So, I guess hold up. I tell my son this. Well, I told him this. There's something him if you choose to listen or not. I say if a guy or a kid were to hit you, let the proper authorities know, right? Let them know that this kid put hands on me. But now, if he touch you again, you knock his tail out, because you already let the proper authorities know, and they didn't do nothing about it, or they didn't pay attention to it after that moment. You did your part. If he touch you, you knock his tail out. Yeah. You will not get in trouble from me. Now, you will get in trouble from me if you continue to allow him to do this to you.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Because you gotta be aware of also the school policies and rules. Mm-hmm. Is now with bullying or fighting, it's both parties. So if someone comes up to you and starts a fight with you, and you respond, both of you are getting expelled.
Now, I do hate that rule. I got in trouble a lot for that. I ain't gonna tell you no. I got in trouble a lot for that, because then I blew my top off. I did my part, and you didn't do nothing. I'm getting in trouble for it anyway. Well, then I might as well do what I want to do then, since I'm getting blamed for it anyway. Might as well finish the job.
Yeah. I mean, no, you got a point there, Sal. But most of the time, bullies they like to touch, right? They like physical interaction. They They like to fight. In that case, yeah, you let it happen once. You let the proper authority know, and then the second time you defend yourself, and you've got that on your record. It's like, hey, this happened one time. I let you guys know. You guys didn't do anything about it. It occurred again, and I defended myself. It's easier to fight that in court versus two individuals were fighting, and then so we suspended both of them because those are the rules, right? Now, when it comes to bullies and the verbal assault or verbal abuse, yeah, you can respond, but if you respond in a way that shows that you were triggered, they feed off of that also. You know, because their whole intent is to trigger you. It's to get you mad, get you explode and lose control of your emotions in front of everyone. And then it can show, okay, I got him, I got her. Yep. You know, so sometimes it doesn't hurt to walk away. Now, if it's us in the workplace, folks who are in the workplace, it's completely different, right? You can, if somebody throws a jab at you, you throw a jab back, just to kind of show them, hey, not this one. You know what I mean? And then if it gets physical, then it just gets physical. As long as you didn't start it, you can hold your head up high.
Oh man, if it gets physical in the workplace, dang.
I mean, seriously, if someone in the workplace is hitting you, eventually you're going to defend yourself, right?
They start escorting people out.
You know what I mean? Are you gonna let someone hit you in the workplace?
Hey, if somebody hit me in the workplace, I'm telling you right now, I'm not showing up to work the next day.
They're gonna have to arrest me.
I'm telling you right now,
lost his mind.
I'm not showing up the next day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm telling you right now.
I'll tell a story, right? It was in Deuce Niner, and a bunch of us are just walking around, and this pickup truck drives by, and then you heard the N-word, right? And it's just me surrounded by, you know, I would say a good mix, a variety of racial groups there, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm just chill, right? And then there was a white guy next to me. He's like, "Hey man, let's go track that truck down. Let's see where he parks." I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why do all that? You know, it's not worth it. We all can get in trouble. Mm-hmm. You know how they start, you know, when you get in trouble and base stuff like that, we all get in trouble. It's just not worth it. It's like, he ain't here, he ain't touching us, he ain't trying to fight us. Mm-hmm. Now, if that was the case, then it's going to be a different response, right? But words, yeah, especially, and I'm sure it's the same thing for you guys. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm engaged, it's hard to pull back. You know, it is really hard to pull back. So I try not to get engaged.
Do your lady have a key word for you to calm you down? Does she say, Demela, calm down? Did you just calm down?
Well, you know what? I think, and I'm glad you brought up lady. I think part of her job is to protect you from yourself. Because, you know, when we get angry. You know, it's part of her job is to protect you from yourself. So you yourself have to know when she says stop. Mm-hmm. And you also have to know her that she is not someone that's going to kind of feed your ego to get you in trouble. Yeah, you know, my wife would never tell me he did this, you know, so go get him.
Yep.
Because she's thinking, this is my husband. If he goes to prison or if he dies, you know, that's going to impact her.
Yep.
So her first thing is she will, you know, quicker say walk away than I would. Mm-hmm. You know, because she's thinking in it long term. But if you got a girl, a wife, or whatever that's telling you go fight him, then you need to rethink that.
Or how she say, "Oh, you gonna let him disrespect us like that?"
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
that's a toxic woman.
Yeah. Oh man, is she? So yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I even think about it like if I'm out with my lady and somebody call her a name or something like that. and my instinct want me to do something, but in reality, I'm like, I know you're not like that, and you're not like that. There's no need, because by me being the figure that I am, most people are intimidated by me. So therefore, somebody could be packing something. And nowadays, not many people want to just a fight and just call it a day. If somebody get beat up in a fight, they feel embarrassed. Now they really want to go get something because they pride hurt. Is it really worth all that?
Yeah. So
I mean, the first thing she's going to do is grab my hands, and to make sure I don't even turn around to even for any reason. You know, she's going to grab my hands.
So what about these other emotions? We've basically hit on anger from every angle, but there are other emotions like sadness, shame, embarrassment, envy.
Don't let it impact you. Don't let it impact your decision. Don't let it drive your decision. We as men, we've got to be in control of it all. We have a responsibility, and we've got to have control over our emotions. You can feel fear.
What is that? What does it look like to impact you? What do you mean by that? Don't let it impact you.
I guess when you're being embarrassed about something, at that moment you're embarrassed. You're like, God, dog. Now you start being a downward spiral because you can't believe that. Let's say, I don't know. A good example is, I guess, here's an embarrassing moment. My son, when he came and visited me, it was a new area, and I was showing him where the office was, the leasing office was, and I also introduced him to the janitor. Now he's not called a janitor, the person who fixed things in the building, right? Yeah. And I thought he wasn't paying attention. Well, like I said, I'm introducing him. I hope he's paying attention to what kids might be. But it's one particular time, I wasn't home. He took the trash out, and he forgot the door was locked once he leave the room. So when we took the trash out, he was in his underwear. So he took the trash, coming back, realized the door was locked. He panicked, right? But he remembered, I know the lease's office that, and I know the guy. So he went to the lease's office. He was embarrassed. I'm in my underwear. Hey, I need y'all to unlock the door. And luckily they recognized my son's face.
Yeah.
And they just send the maintenance guy to unlock the door and stuff like that. He was embarrassed. I don't think matter of fact, my wife told me, but he didn't tell me, but he handled the situation quite well.
So were you embarrassed for him?
No, because it's a funny situation. You're not laughing at that moment because he think in his mind he gonna get in trouble. He's outside with his underwear and stuff like that. You think he'll get in trouble, but he figured out a solution to get through that. And I guarantee if I have this conversation with him, it's a laughing moment. Especially when you're doing things at the moment, it's an embarrassing moment. But sometimes you look back at it and be like, you know what, that was an embarrassing moment. Especially if you do it to yourself. Now, if somebody else embarrass you, that's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Now, that's a good example because he kind of stepped back, thought about it, and went down to the office, got the keys, let him back in the house. Mm-hmm. If he's embarrassed, on the other hand, and he allows that embarrassment to guide his emotions, what does he do? He jumps the fence, and then someone sees him jump in a fence and thinking he's breaking in. He breaks a glass to get in there to end the embarrassment as quick as possible. He could have done a lot of things that you would have gotten even more angry about, and and caused a bigger issue. But he's like, you know what? I'm already in my underwear. Let me just take a quick trip down here and end this as best as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Antoine DeMella. I was giving y'all a list of emotions, and you said don't let it show, or don't let it affect your decision making. On one of the last, I guess I can answer this myself. I want to see what you got to say, but our last podcast, you said that we shouldn't look for happiness as men. So is that just not an emotion that you show? Like I know you're not looking for it, but do you have happiness?
Yes, I have moments of happiness.
How do you show that?
you show that by how you react to it. So when your kid is born, you show that moment of happiness. Uh, when your kid gets straight A's, you show that moment of happiness by rejoicing and celebrating with them. When accomplishments are done, whether you're accomplishing it or your family is making those accomplishments, you're happy. When we were talking about success and happiness, in from that perspective, part of that happiness is satisfaction in job is over, right? It's you've in that perspective of success and happiness, it's we've meet the peak, we've meet the top. It's time to chill and relax now. Let our guard down, get complacent, right? It's just like, there's nothing else to be done, nothing else to be fixed. That's what I meant by happiness in that from that last conversation. Now, of course, you're gonna have moments of happiness. Of course, you're not
Well,
walking
I want
around hanging.
specifics. I
Huh?
want specifics. You said you rejoice, you celebrate, but what does it mean for Anton Namella to rejoice? What does that look like? What does he do? Does he say that he's happy? Does he smile? Does he laugh? What
Yeah,
is it for you?
yeah. If my kids bring them good grades, the first 3 times, it's gonna be a smile, a hug, a kiss.
Ah,
Here's a
okay.
reward, right? The fourth time is just like better, right?
Oh, they better. Wow.
Huh?
You better, yeah.
So you
Yeah,
better, yeah, because the standard is already set, right? But
yeah.
yeah, there are smiles on my face, right?
I just
But
had to make sure.
yeah, yeah,
I need to know the specific. Do you smile?
yeah.
That's
But
good.
in that term of success period with happiness, it's we are not where we should be as a group, and we need to do more. So we shouldn't be walking around here too doggone happy.
Huh.
Because it's all what did it say? The chain is as strong as the weakest link. Well, we've got a ton of weak links. There's more weak than there are strong links.
Maybe it's a rope.
Yeah, yeah.
Long train.
But and another one of emotional intelligence is fear.
Yeah.
Not letting fear guide you to make stupid decisions or make the situation worse.
No, I will agree wholeheartedly with that.
Yeah.
Fear is an innate emotion, and it can mess you up.
Yeah.
You got to stay focused.
Yeah, just having each other's back. Look, man, if a man has another man he can call and pour it all out and then hang up, that dude is going to be solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not fair if this person is going to judge him, look at him funny. He can just say, hey, man, this is how this affect me. It hurt me, blah, 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 whatever it is. Once he have that phone, he's good. But if he's got no outlet to let that stuff out, you know what I mean? That's what it balls up, and eventually it will blow a lid. Like I always tell my sons, for men, the bathroom is for 3 things. Number 1 and number 2, and shedding tears if you have to. You go in there, do what you got to do, dry your eyes, come out, you're good.
So, with that being said, are you saying that you wouldn't cry in front of your son?
If a bear poop in the wood, or if a tree falls in the woods, and no one's there to hear it, did it fall?
I saw it fall.
No, you didn't see nothing. No one was there to see it.
So
the tree didn't know I was there, but I was there.
When I walked out that far and I came back, that tree wasn't laying down right there. So you must have did something.
But look, I'm glad you asked that question. Right, Juice? Couple months ago, less than a year, or no, more than a year, we had a tremendous death of 4 individuals on my wife's side, right? Like a tremendous passing, right? And leading up to that, the message was, especially to my sons, check your emotions, boys don't cry, whatever, right?
And you told them boys don't cry. You told them boys don't cry?
Yeah, and I saw the other side, the negative side of that. And for my older son, who I preached this endlessly, when we got the news of those passing, when I looked to him to say, hey, you played with them. They were at the house a couple days ago. And I go to hug him. He didn't cry. And I kind of stepped back from that. I was like, this is not good. Right? I may have went too far with the boys don't cry. Now he's like a robot. Right? So now I'm scrambling to kind of say, okay, I know I said this, but in this situation, it's kind of okay because that was family. And I'm probably thinking, it's like, okay, would he cry if something happened to me?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that is the other side when you're taking it too far of the old idea of boys don't cry. Now he's not crying for nothing. And
so
that goes to me also.
He's still like that now?
Huh?
He's still like that now?
It hasn't been tested since.
Oh, okay.
You know, and now I also don't know if he went somewhere privately and cried. You know, but at his age, I expected him to, quote unquote, break ranks and break ranks and show some emotion, because 2 days ago you were playing with him. Now you're getting this horrible news. You know what I mean? And it's same thing for me also. I've got certain checks, because there's certain situations where, at least a tear should have dropped and it didn't. And I think about that and I was like, okay, if this happened and nothing happens, that is my check. You know what I mean? That is like, okay, you gotta go talk to somebody, because this is not normal. In this situation, a tear should have been shed.
Yeah, I'm glad that that moment happened and you came to the realization that things that went too far, because that can be detrimental. So I'm glad you expressed that to your son. That's I don't know what words you use, but basically that's not normal. Like you said, you were just playing with them, close to them, and now they're gone. It's a normal emotional reaction to be sad and shed tears and all that stuff. So
yeah,
I'm showing all my emotions, man. Even to my wife, I'm showing all, because she would know every range of my emotions. So if I ever get out of whack, then she would know something ain't right with that guy. I got to find out what's going on with that guy. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Because I will never let her, want her to think that I'm that cold. You see what I'm saying? So she know all of my emotions, the good, bad, up and down, left and right, or indifferent. So if anybody ever come to her, be like, hey, what's wrong? Oh, ain't nothing wrong with him. Ain't nothing wrong with him. But even my family kind of knows that too. I could call them if I have a quiver in my voice. They be like, whoa, what's going on? What's wrong? I be like, nah, ain't nothing. Something in my throat will say, oh, okay, because you don't usually respond like that or talk like that. So something must be up. So I believe my family, even my family know my demeanor. I'm say it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, because at the same time, we don't want to be psychopaths, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to come off. I mean, yeah, I can say don't cry, and I can, list a plethora of emotions where you shouldn't, or situations where you shouldn't cry. But if your sibling or your wife or your spouse or your parents, then yeah, it's expected for you to show some emotion, some cry. But if someone say, hey, you're ugly, you start crying, I'm not tolerating that. You know what I mean? If I say, Juice, you're bald headed and tall, and then you go start crying, I'm like,
yeah.
Hey, like
you might have to talk.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So I had to express that to my son of, get a little bit more detail when I say boys don't cry. and I even asked, I was like, hey, so if something happens to me, if I'm floating over you, boy, I better see you dropping tears. I'm gonna start turning on some light bulbs when you're sleeping, right? It's like, yeah, I had to explain that in more detail of what I meant by boys don't cry.
I could be wrong, but I tease my son so I can hopefully develop thick skin on him and stuff. So hopefully, whatever I tell him, anybody else told him, like, I heard that before from my dad, so that don't bother me. But I could be wrong for somebody. Somebody be like, "You wrong for doing that." I could be, but it helps
because it will happen.
Yeah,
it will. Same to my daughter, especially. My daughter is like, my daughter's tough. Yeah, she is.
I would tell you this though. I can tell you another emotional breakdown that I had. I was playing football one time, and I was in middle school or high school. I think I was in high school. I was in high school at this time. I was in high school, and when you getting prompted up saying you good, you this and that and the other, I had a coach getting on me, right? I mean, he was getting on me hard. And at that time, I was like, man, F him. I ain't doing none of that stuff. And I was hurt. Like I was starting emotionally hurt. I started crying. Like, I don't know why I'm crying, but I'm crying. Right. And a guy went by me and said, dude, why are you crying? I said, man, the dude, coach calling me out and stuff like that, man. I don't even want to play this game no more. And yada yada. He said, listen, man, you have to understand how talented you are. If a coach is not getting in your butt, that means he don't care.
Yeah.
He cares about you. He just wants you to do better. He see the potential in you. And I'm like, if you see the potential in me, why are you doing this to me? Because he's like, because there's more than what you putting out there. I know you could do better than that. You just choose not to. You're just being lazy.
Yeah.
And I thought about it when he said, and ever since that moment, if a coach yell at me, it don't faze me anymore. They just want me to do better. So, I learned the lesson then, because especially if somebody telling you this, do this, do this, and then you get to a level and somebody breaking you down, you're like, I don't have to deal with this no more. I'm done, So how you teach your kids how to combat that, how you humble your kids, no matter how talented they are, how you humble your kids is that you still got more potential to grow. So that was my lesson, even dealing with emotions,
Yeah. Emotions is something. Like I said, my coming to Jesus moment was when I was going through therapy due to family stuff, and I learned a lot about myself and a lot about my family and why I am the way I am. And one of the biggest things I learned is that none of us show emotion, except for one of my sisters. But the thing is, she's the most emotional one, and we would pick on her about showing her emotions. And really, she was the most normal one out of all of us, so we was probably not her. So, really backwards type of upbringing when it came to that specifically. But I've done a lot of work, so.
But
like I said, we weren't taught as young men to figure ourselves out and understand how we're feeling. So it's important though.
But Sal, you kind of glossed over that, and that was that's a tremendous accomplishment. We're not known for recognizing there's a problem and going to get therapy and getting help. You kind of said that quickly, but that's huge. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so congrats to you. That's huge.
I never thought I would be on a therapist's couch, but I got to that point, and I was like, I need help. But also, I give all the praise to my wife because she really helped me. She was really patient with me. She could see who I was as a man, but understood at the same time I was struggling, and she knew that she wasn't equipped in that way to help me through that. And suggested therapy, and she led by example. She went to therapy and all that stuff. We did marriage counseling before we got married. So I had been to therapy with her. I guess you can call that kind of therapy, but never by myself. So, but no, I appreciate that because it was tough, and I became a better man from it. So I'm an avid believer in therapy.
Yeah, that's why I like therapy is great, and I also think that like we talking right now, men should talk more and stuff because we all feel a certain kind of way. And we all can still bounce ideas and situations and stuff like that, and figure out what would we do or what would we do different, or how can we approach a certain situation based off certain scenarios. So and like I said, I went to therapy just like I said, just with my wife. And fun thing about going to therapy with my wife is everything I say prior to going to therapy, the therapist said the same thing back. And I just sat there quiet, like, yeah, this stuff sounds familiar. Because I sit there and I think a lot, man. But also, I mean, like I say, every situation is different, and I've grown to develop a lot more patience with myself and also with other people and stuff. And sometimes I go back and think like, man, how should I react to this? Or am I overreacting? Or once again, it go back to what I was telling you, Sel. Sometimes I just got to just be straight up. If I be straight up and have a straight up dialogue with somebody, and hopefully they understand the conversation, understand what I'm trying to convey, and we can have a good conversation, everything be ironed up,
Yeah.
So
it's funny you said that because sometimes I struggle with that. Sometimes I struggle in how I communicate and how that message is received and understood. And I run it by my wife. It's like, hey, if you read this, what would you think? Because sometimes I can be too blunt. Like even when we had that text message, I was just talking, and then he, Juice was like, hey, put an LOL, let him know he's kidding. But in my mind, it's just like, well, he should know I'm kidding. You know what I mean? But that's not how, in most situations, people take it.
Well, the reason why, because this thing I struggle with is that if somebody don't know you and they're on the other side of things, they might take it a certain kind of way.
Yeah.
But once you get the chance to know somebody and know the demeanor, then, like I said, if you don't know me, you might take what I say harsh. But once you get the chance to know me and know there's no malice behind it, it is what it is. I think some people have the word I want to say, expectation of you, and they don't even know you. So how you have an expectation of me and they respect me to respond this particular way, and you don't know me? So when you have that type of situation going on, then that's where people get confused of how should that person respond,
Yeah. Or they put themselves, how would I have responded? And this person didn't respond that way. So this person is mad, angry, whatever the case is.
Exactly.
And it gets worse when I do know you and you do know me, especially in that group chat, man. Sometimes I just want to say what I want to say. And I'm hoping everyone receives it in or don't receive it as a bad way. Yeah. And sometimes I'll care, sometimes I wouldn't care.
Yeah. I was thinking something else that, like, I think I talked to my wife is when somebody come off saying, this is how I feel about the situation. And we're like, Lord, now I got to talk to your feelings. Just talk to me facts wise.
Yeah.
And sometimes, don't get me wrong, depends on the situation. You have to take feelings into consideration.
Yeah.
But if it's something factual, that's all I'm trying to hear. Did you do it or did you not? I didn't do it. That's all I want. But I felt like, nah, I ain't trying to hear that.
Yeah, most of the time I don't care about your emotions.
Now we sound cold, even though we just put our emotions out there. Now we right back and sound cold again.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, look, man, because that's how I am, and that goes back to the expectation. It's just like, look, in this moment we can have issues, and we talk about it, and I am done with it. I'm not always good with that. I know she's going to be listening to this, and she's going to be like, "That's not true," But I'm not always good with that in my marriage. But outside of that, it's just like, dude, I'm done with that. We talked about it. I said my piece. You said your piece. Are we hanging out or not?
Yeah. Are we good or not?
Yeah, exactly.
We good.
Yeah.
All right. Don't tell me we good. You still acting fake.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't come a month later, you're still mad about it when we just said we're good with it.
Man. Yeah. Tell me about that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, my son be like, son, dad, I feel as you too hard on me. Son. All right, son. Let's go with this then. Why do you feel that I'm too hard on you? I just pose a question like that. I want to see what he say. Well, I be trying to da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, okay. So, but you understand why I did that? Yeah. So why are we talking about you feeling that way then if you understand why I did it? So therefore, that tells me you didn't quite understand. Do we need to go revisit that? No, I don't want to revisit. What areas you want me to do now? You know what? Don't worry about it. I forgot I brought up. No. I'm not trying to push your feelings aside. I'm just want to get an understanding, son. What there is that we got lost at? Is it that I didn't respond the way you wanted me to respond and get the result that you want? And you probably sit back and be like, you know what, Dad? Don't worry about it. You sure? Because I want to go down this rabbit hole. I mean, it's not a rabbit hole, but I want to take your feelings into consideration. So, but I think my son would do something like that, but he'd be the same way how I did that whole dialogue.
But I'm telling you, once your sons fully become you, and that reflection occurs, boy, it's a humbling feeling.
Oh yeah, that's why I got to make sure I cross my T's and dot my I's, because he be trying me.
Yeah, and trying to call you out.
He be trying me. Yeah, but I got to make sure I'm covered.
You just look at him, just like, this little dude. I was changing your diaper yesterday. He gonna throw this back in my face?
Exactly. And Mom be like, you created that monster. I am the monster.
Yeah, I got a little bit for that
yesterday.
So, anything else? Any last words?
No, straight, man.
Antoine DeMella?
No, just check your emotions at the door. I'm not saying don't have emotional reactions or not to have emotions, but just don't let it guide your actions. Don't let it get you into more trouble. And Sel kind of asked some questions that got me thinking. It's like, it's important to smile. It's important for, especially your family. It's important for your kids and wife to see that they could make you happy, or they could get a happy reaction out of you. And you're not just a stone cold individuals. And admitting when you're wrong, right? And then it's like, okay, I was wrong there. Let me kind of bring it back a little bit.
Okay then.
Nice.
Well, I like that. All right, YouTube, like and subscribe. See you next time. Peace.